What's good, y'all? Today we're getting into another Sparking Zero video. This video is all about the problems that the community is having with this game. Now, I made a video similar to this before, but everyone was like, oh, the game's not out, niggas was posting me on Reddit saying, can people let the game come out first? All type of other shit, right? But now the game's out, and not to my surprise, there's a lot of complaints going on, because guess what? People thought it was going to be the oh so perfect game that they expected in their head. It was not. And this isn't my opinion. I think the game is phenomenal, and I only have really one problem with it, but I'm gonna get into that later. This video is actually about you guys, not me. So I'm about to get into it. Let's go. If you like the video, hit the like, sub up, whatever. But now let's get straight into it. These problems are going to be in no particular order, so I'm just gonna go down a list of the ones I wrote down. The first one being the lack of skins in this game. Pretty much what people are saying is if you go into the outfit shop and look at all the outfits, there's a lot of really just basic outfits, and we're missing a lot of cool skins. There's just not too much to say about this. There's just obviously a decent amount of skins that could be added, but I do not think it's worth talking about any longer, so I'm gonna move into the next complaint. The next thing being that the training mode / tutorial is really not that good. And in all honesty, it could definitely be way better. And by that I mean literally a lot better. That shit literally withholds so much information from you, it's insane. First of all, the explanations of the actual mechanics themselves are really not that great. And I think the reason with this is the controls are actually extremely simple for the game, but behind the simple controls there is a lot of depth. It leaves out some when it comes to offense, like how to combo and shit like that, but the main problem really comes from the defense, especially when it comes to timing your counters. When you watch some of the defensive demos, you'll see what they're doing, you'll replicate it, but that shit just will not work. And the main reason for that is you can't see when they're doing the input exactly. And this is most well demonstrated with the super counter. Most people cannot do this counter very consistently at all. But what it doesn't tell you is that you can hold the left stick the whole time. It only matters when you hit square. They make it seem like you have to hit the left stick and square at the same time, but that's just not true. And it's just things like that where certain timings and certain explanations that are kind of misleading and kind of just lacking, where it will affect your gameplay, and you're probably just better off going into matches and going into just super training and just kind of figuring it out yourself. This actually kind of ties into the next thing I've seen people talking about, and it's the fact that some counters feel like they just straight up do not register. In the training mode, you're told you can hold circle and you'll get perception, right? But you'll go into an online match, hold circle, they'll hit you and you'll just get fucking hit. Honestly, I felt like this at first, and then I realized you kind of need to just use a different form of counter and a different form of dodge unless you're really, really great at timing them. I'm hearing two sides of this, honestly. Some people are saying skill issue, some people are saying that it's actually just very inconsistent. I thought it was inconsistent at first, and then I kind of started looking a little more into it, and I felt like maybe I was just doing it wrong, but honestly, I'll leave this up to a 50-50. I'll leave this up to you guys even. Let me know in the comments how you feel about this, because I kind of want to move on and I'm not too sure about this one. Now, this next complaint is something I actually foresaw and actually something I was going to abuse, and that would be Yajirobe senzu beans. A lot of people are getting destroyed by Yajirobe online right now. The reason being that Yajirobe senzu beans pretty much can get him back to max health at almost any time in the match as long as he has 5 skill points, which is kind of hard to accumulate if you're spamming your skills, which if you're good enough at defense, you actually don't have to, meaning that you can build up these 5 skill points that you need for the senzu beans relatively easily. And though it does take quite a few seconds to use the senzu beans, it's not a crazy detrimental amount of time. So what happens is, even though Yajirobe isn't one of the strongest characters, once he does quite a bit of damage on you and you do quite a bit of damage on him, if he ends up healing, it's like you're fighting a whole different character. Honestly, I think he is probably one of the best characters in DP battle right now, straight up. He's 2 DP, and on top of that, his ability to heal is literally insane. It's kind of hard for me to give a conclusion on this bit. Honestly, I doubt he's going to get nerfed. I think people are just going to have to straight up move on and learn how to counter it. And I'm going to move on to the next thing. The next thing is something that's also been running rampant in ranked, which is after image strike. This is a skill that a lot of characters have, but the character that benefits the most and that has been seeing the most use out of it is probably Super Vegito. First of all, Super Vegito is already a good character in general, but after image strike is a crazy skill. Pretty much what this skill does is allows you to activate a 15-second time frame where pretty much nothing can hit you except Ki Blast. So what people have been doing is getting a full team of okay characters that can all use After Image Strike and then going online, which has created a lot of complaining and controversy all over the internet. I mean, you have someone that can literally rush you down, but if you were to swing back, they would just instantly vanish and get a free hit off. And honestly, there's just not much you can do except play extremely defensive and wait for it to run out. And at the cost of what I believe is just 3 skill points, it's not that hard to get back. What you have to do is literally just burn their skill points and burn their meter by playing defense or just playing a really great offense. Moving on to the next thing is going to be the difficulty of the story mode, and I'm not going to stay on this topic too long. This shit is a skill issue. Now the Ginyu Force shit where you're getting jumped, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that shit is kind of crazy. But like Grade 8 Vegeta, that was definitely a skill issue on our part, I'm not gonna lie. Giant characters simply work very differently than normal characters, and you have to understand that at some point. They do not fight the same, and you do not fight them the same. And I'm going to immediately move on, because that topic is not something worth my time today. The next thing is a actual real fucking problem, and it's when your inputs straight up do not register. This definitely happens to most with trying to switch characters, and then after that I'd say trying to transform. Sometimes you have all the time in the world to switch characters, your bar will be full, you'll be ready to switch characters, your opponents cross the map, and then boom, you click that hoe and it just don't work. You click the D-pad again, that hoe don't work. You gotta click it like 3 times before it even pulls the menu up, and then after that, you gotta wait like a second for your other character to come out. The shit is mad annoying. Honestly, it's just a simple fact that switching characters needs to be way smoother. I don't know why it's like that, but it just needs to be like very instant. And I know it's not a balancing thing, because sometimes you can get it to work instantly, and sometimes it just will straight up not work at all. I think it's just a bug. And honestly, I think all the controls online are just kind of fucked up a little. I've seen a lot of people complain that they cannot fire off super attacks when they want to. It'll tell you that you have the ability to do the super, but when you click the actual buttons, nothing will come out. And I think this is more of a glitch with like the classic controls, because I have not had this happen to me, and I play on standard, so maybe it's a weird like classic control glitch. The only time this consistently happens to me is when I'm in sparking mode and I try to end off with my ultimate. It will straight up not work 55% of the time, but sometimes in the exact same scenario it'll work. I don't know, it's kind of weird. It could just literally be a skill issue, and I would not be mad at that, I'm not gonna lie. But adding on to like the weird times your controls will get messed up, when you come out of transforming, sometimes you'll get stuck in like the key charging animation, and you have to like really try hard to get out of it. I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but it's happened to me almost every single time I've transformed. If I'm not pressing anything, I'll get stuck in it. The only way for me to get out is to like spam like dashing. But honestly, y'all, I think for the most part, that's every complaint that I've seen. At least a lot of. I try not to put like certain small nitpicks in my videos, because honestly that could just get annoying. So if you stayed to the end, I appreciate it. Like, sub up, comment if you made it to the end, and until next time, peace.